Welcome to Witches in Yoga Pants, your cozy corner of the cosmos where modern magic meets everyday life. We're here to explore magic, mindfulness, and personal growth with a grounded, no-fluff vibe. Whether you're into moon rituals, tarot spreads, or just trying to survive Mercury retrograde, you are in the right place. So get ready to disrupt some old patterns, explore what it means to reclaim your power, and remember who you really are. So pull up your yoga mat, light a candle, and let's get into it. Welcome back, friends, and happy Halloween week. This season always brings a little mystery with it. The nights are longer, the air feels charged, and it's a perfect time for a good ghost story. But what I have for you today isn't a polished episode. It's more of a behind-the-scenes moment. As I mentioned back in episode 1, pushing the record button the first few times was really difficult for me. My daughter was helping me get comfortable with the equipment, and along the way, we ended up recording a handful of practice conversations. In this one, we were talking about ghosts that we've actually experienced. It wasn't planned for the podcast, just the two of us testing things out, swapping stories that have stayed with us, but honestly, turned into something too fun not to share. So this week, you're getting a little peek behind the curtain. So grab a blanket, maybe a little Halloween candy, and come sit with us on this behind the scenes chat. Okay, so we're recording. Okay, so yeah, we were talking about just different experiences we've had with spirits or
ghosts,
whatever you want to call them over the time. Do you want to start with the one that we have mutual? Do you want to talk about it or do you want me to explain it?
I mean, I feel like we both, I feel like we could both memory it differently,
yeah.
You know? So
interesting. Yeah.
We
might have different memories of it.
Mostly I remember that weird things would happen that we couldn't really explain. Like, granted, the house we lived in was older-ish, you know, but like doors would shut on their own with no form of wind or anything. But the biggest was I don't know if it's a shadow or a light or what it was, but there was something that was always circling the house.
Yeah.
And it would go by the big windows that were outside the living room. Like, you'd be watching TV or something and you'd see something go past, and it was like it was pacing, but not back and forth. It was like a circle.
Circling the house.
Like circling the house.
And you guys were what? Like, at that point?
I mean, I was young.
Quite teenager.
I was like 12? I turned like 11, 12 in that house, and we were there for quite a while. So I think 13, 14, into my like
there
14.
was somebody in the teens because you guys were like home while I was at work.
It was me.
Yeah.
And so obviously I'm the oldest. Like, I'm pretty sure, yeah. So from between like 11, 12 to like, I don't know how long we lived there. I feel like quite a while.
We lived in that house for like 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I would guess like anywhere from 10 or 11 to like 15, because I turned 16 in the Niatsu house. So,
yeah.
So that's an accurate time frame, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And we would see it circling, and at first you think it's just like a weird light or like it was weird, but it was almost not constant, but like pretty frequently it would happen. I don't really remember anything else happening as far as like seeing things like that, but I remember when we went to move.
See, that's the part that I know. Obviously, you guys had told me about the circling thing, but like
it was all the time.
When
like
we went
like
to move, almost. There started this high-pitched sound in the house.
It started really faint, and we couldn't tell where it was coming from. Mm-hmm. You could almost only hear it upstairs, and it was this like, I don't even know how to explain the sound, because it wasn't like a high pitch, but it was almost like a moan, but like a loud vibration, like a weird, I don't know. It was weird noise, and it was very faint. You'd only hear it upstairs, like in the hallway area by the back bathroom. And then as we got further into our move, as we got more packed, as we got like started moving stuff out, because we moved out kind of slowly out of that place.
It got louder and louder, and then it was definitely, you could tell it was coming from that upstairs bathroom. But it was in the whole house.
It was the whole house. But
by the time I went back to clean, it was so loud in there, I couldn't handle being in there. Like, I couldn't be in there.
It was
I had a hard time cleaning it.
Like, come to find out later, though, we kind of resolved that we think that we were being protected. It wasn't anything scary.
No, it never felt scary.
And that the spirit or whatever it was sad we were leaving, I think is what we kind of came to.
Yeah. No, that was wild.
Because it just progressively got so much louder. And it wasn't any kind of noise that was like, oh, there's a machine or something faulty. Or
like, oh, it's a pipe or something.
No,
it wasn't
nothing
that. It wasn't a pipe.
I wish we would have been able to like record it or something. You know what I mean? Back in that day, there wasn't any kind of no cell phones. There wasn't anything to really, I don't know. And I probably wouldn't have thought about it at that time, but it's intense. It was intense. But I never felt scared there. Mm-mm. I never felt like threatened.
I've had other experiences where I've seen someone, like there was my grandma's house. I don't think you remember this house, but I remember looking out the back window and it was just a small patio with a sloped uphill on it. She had some of it. She had like a couple of terraces there with flowers in it, but about beyond that was just hillside, and it went up. And if you walked up there, like you could go for a while. It was woods. But it's like I, on more than one occasion, saw a man in a white t-shirt sitting there, but it wasn't a man. It was clearly like not a real person, but it would be sitting there, just sitting there, watching, waiting, looking over.
Creepy or anything. It's fine.
Well, I didn't realize it until like years later, but now that looking back on it, I remember completely different house, different, like I was the guy on the back of the hill side, like that was, I was a teenager, like 15, 16.
Yeah.
Then rewind. I didn't put these together until much, much later, but when I was very young, I'm talking about probably 8 years old. I mean, I feel like that's I might have actually been younger. This might actually be a memory below 7 because I thought I only had memories to 7. But I remember getting up to go to the bathroom and there were the same type of t-shirt person would be standing in the hallway. I remember being scared of it, but not scared of it. Like, that doesn't make sense.
It does though.
I remember I'm just not going to look at it as I walk by to go to the bathroom.
Like you should be afraid, but you weren't feeling threatened by any means.
It was creepy, but yet it wasn't scary enough to where I wasn't going to get up and go to the bathroom. I remember walking by it with my hand up and just being like, I'm not going to look at it and I'm just going to go to the bathroom. Like as a little kid.
I wish you could see my face right now. I mean, I know you can, because let me tell you, could never.
Like, I don't know
why
it didn't scare me like that.
Because like I have very much been very intrigued by ghosts and spirit and the connection in the veil and like mediumship and being able to be that person and like understand it. And the idea of seeing, like physically seeing a spirit gives me the heebie-jeebies on such a different, even though I know, even if they were here of complete love and light and I was safe in the safest environment, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. So
yeah,
to be a 7-year-old in the middle of the night, going to the bathroom and having to cover my face to cross the hallway so I didn't look at the creepy ghost. Absolutely not. I'd shit my pants in the bedroom.
Well, I remember that happening on multiple occasions. It wasn't just once. And so I'm like, I'm just not going to look at it.
Like that's what you do with a creepy photo on the wall, Mom, not a spirit.
Like, I don't know.
How did you just deal?
I don't know.
How did you just cope?
I remember it. I remember being like, okay, it's there again, but I'm just going to, I
have to cover my eyes and not look at the big scary King Kong statue at Universal Studios. And that's how I cope.
That's funny.
Spirit.
That's funny.
Standing in front of me is not going to just be like, I don't see you.
Yeah. I guess I knew
at a subconscious level.
And now that's why I'm wondering if like this kind of actually.
You think it's the same spirit though? Is that kind of what you were getting at? Because you said same figure.
Now that I think about it like that, yes, it looked the same. It looked the same.
So it was somebody who was with you.
So that's why I'm rolling into.
Okay.
Fast forward. I didn't know this as a child at all, but I remember my mom telling me, I don't even know how old I was, that I had an imaginary friend when I was young. His name was Tedis. And I would tell all these stories about Tedis and I went fishing, or Tedis and I, whatever, I would have all these things that we would do. And this is a story. So I don't have any recollection when we talked about memories.
Yeah.
Like I do not remember this. It's only a story that I was told. And I don't know why they would tell me this if it wasn't, I don't know. Anyways, she said that one day that my boots were muddy and I hadn't been anywhere. But I was saying I had gone fishing with Tedis and my boots were muddy. There was mud on my boots.
But you didn't leave.
I don't remember leaving.
And she doesn't remember you leaving?
Well, it was in the middle of the night.
Do you think you actually went out and fished in the middle of the night with your spirit friend?
Potentially.
That's terrifying. Imagine your mother.
Absolutely. I know that would be scary. Being told I had this imaginary friend, I, as an adult, figured out that was someone who was a guide to me. And thinking back, I'm wondering if that was him. And I actually saw him a few times. I saw him on the hill at my grandma's house.
Saw
I
him in
saw
the
him.
hallway.
There was a lot of trauma in my childhood. There was a lot of neglect and a lot of sometimes violence, alcoholism. Like there was a lot of stuff. And so I can relate to both of those places. I mean, obviously I have good memories in them too, but it's like I can relate to things not being so great there to where he would have probably been there watching over me. And I feel like those were him. I was actually seeing a physical form of him.
It was to an extent that you needed maybe that confirmation that it's not just in your head.
But as we're sitting here talking about it, seeing a guy sitting outside the backyard, staring into the house, and then like somebody standing in the hallway, like those are both terrifying. And I was not scared of them.
You were protected. And that's absolutely, that is a horror movie. That is a horror movie. So it's interesting. You subconsciously just knew that even though it was creeping you out a little bit, like especially in the, the hallway where you're having to like block your eyes, but you knew it wasn't actually scary. Like you somehow were connecting those dots.
I never like screamed or went, well, my mom probably wasn't there. I probably didn't have anybody to go to, but I wasn't like terrified.
Oh my God, there's somebody in the house.
Yeah. Like I wasn't at all like that. But then again, I might have been, who knows? I could have been home alone.
Interesting.
Like, what am I going to do? I got to go to the bathroom. This is how it ends.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
I'm honestly wondering because like you said, it took into adulthood to connect the dots of like, that was probably that imaginary friend was just that spirit guide. And then when you did see him, it was just like the manifestation of like his physical being basically. Like
I basically remember the white t-shirt, but I could never like
put a face.
There was no face or body. Like it's hard to explain, but it wasn't like a t-shirt. Like there was
I get it. You knew it was like a man.
It was a man.
But it didn't have like an actual physical feature of a face or anything.
Masculine being.
Got it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I wouldn't. It didn't
I feel like
have a face.
the only explanation for you not being absolutely terrified is that somewhere in your mind you knew that either that was him or it or whatever, or it was just, you knew it was safe. Like you knew it was protective and not threatening.
Yeah.
You just had that, I don't know, that connection already at such a young age. Because you've been experiencing ghost stuff your whole life pretty much.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me the story of the bathtub.
Well, that was
I'm assuming different spirit.
Completely. This was, well, I don't know now that you say that. I mean, okay, so this is what happened. The house we were living in was a barn that had been remodeled into a house. And then that barn remodeled into a house had an addition on it. So the main house was like the kitchen, dining room, living room. It had stairs up with 2 bedrooms upstairs. And then the add-on was when you walk in the door, the front door was into the kitchen, which was odd. There might have been another front door, but that was the door we always used. I was probably 14, maybe. But you walk in that door and you would go left, and this is the addition. And we used it as a music room, and then there was a bathroom, and then there was my bedroom. Well, that bathroom and bedroom I'm getting chills just talking about it. We're so haunted. Like we would see, I remember my friend and I were in there being teenagers, who knows, putting makeup on or doing something, in the bathroom, just girl, whatever. Yeah. And we would see a shadow moving on the window. And we were like outside. Is there somebody outside? And it's like, oh God, I'm getting the chills. And so we were like, became conscious of it. We're both sitting there looking at each other going, what the hell is this? And then we went over and we're like moving, and it was moving with us. And I reached over, and it was the kind of, I have chills all over my body. It was the kind of window, that you turn the handle and the slats open like that. Okay, yeah. It was that. And I quickly just slipped it open, and I saw something move, but it wasn't a person. Like, I don't know what it was.
Spirit.
It was something, but it wasn't a person. And it scared me so bad that we called my mom, or I don't know. We were panicked. Like, we were terrified. I think the police came.
Oh my gosh. And you thought somebody was outside.
We didn't know what it was, but we were terrified. Anyway, I don't remember what resolved from that, but that was one experience we had in that wing of the house. And then another I was in that bathroom in the bathtub, and I'm a teenager and I'm in the bathtub, whatever. And there are bottles of shampoos. Yeah. I mean, I was shaving my legs. I'm sitting there, and one by one, like somebody has just walked up and tapped them in.
Yeah, I remember
like story. One by one, all the bottles that were lining the tub just got knocked into the tub. And I'm just sitting there going, what the hell? Like, and I got up and went out, and that's all I remember of that. And then there was another occasion I had been studying and I had a stack of textbooks by my bed. And so I had all of my textbooks that I had homework in a stack. And I had turned off my light and laid down to go to bed. And I heard this noise and I turned the light back on. And it was like somebody had taken that pile of books and flattened it, like knocked it over, like spread it out. Okay. My books were all spread apart across the floor. And I'm like, what the heck? And it's like, it was shortly after that we moved out. And I don't think we moved because of my experiences, because my emotional needs did not matter. No. Let's get out of here. No, I don't even know. I don't even know that I told her. But we moved shortly after that. But later we found out that the house had been not condemned, but I don't know if they went to go change something or whatever, but somehow they found out that there was a well that had not been sealed properly underneath my bedroom. And I had a water bed in there. And so we found that out later. So I feel like there was something trying to scare me, trying to get us out of there. Like it was like,
yeah, I definitely don't think that's the same spirit at all. It's not giving the same energy at all.
No, it was scary.
And you were clearly very scared.
I was terrified every time it happened. Yeah. So that you're right. That's probably different. Yeah. And then I have one other big one that I don't remember this, but it was like something that was talked about a lot when I was younger. We lived it's a small town, farm town, like literally there's nothing there. My grandfather had a ranch. And when I was born, that's where we lived. And the way it was is there was different houses on the property. So like there was a ranch and they had like 5 houses and farm hands.
That would have been
people.
Really cool to
wouldn't that be cool to have? I know, farm hands and different employees that worked for the farm lived in the houses. Well, we were living in one of those houses and I can't remember all the details, but what I remember is that not every night, but often you would hear, and this is not me, this is stories. This is my mom, my grandma, my grandpa, everybody telling these stories when we were growing up. You could hear someone walking across the floor
of the house,
like someone's in the house walking around, and the sugar bowl would always be either the lid off of it sitting next to it, empty, or spilled all over the place. It was always the sugar bowl.
Okay.
So the sugar bowl it was like a bowl with a lid on it.
Yeah.
And they couldn't keep sugar in it. Whatever this was that was walking in
wanted the sugar,
was doing something with the sugar all the time.
What in the world?
I don't know.
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means, but that's another experience that I can think of that, like I said, that one's not a remember. These other ones that I had were actual, I remember that, but the sugar bowl, I don't. And then, I just thought of something else. It's kind of like fun. When I was little, and this is it's weird. We were talking about memories earlier. It's like, I do not have a memory of this in my conscious mind, but yet when I hear it or when I say it, I absolutely know it's true. Yeah. Like I know it in my body. Like I can feel it. My mom had a good friend, best friend potentially, I don't remember, a friend that we went to go pick her up. My mom had dropped out of school. She had me when she was like 15 or 16. She had dropped out of school. We went to the bus stop to pick up her friend that was getting off the bus. Well, we go to get her and there's a row of cars. Traffic has stopped, right? The bus had stopped and she had gotten off the bus to cross the highway and came and got hit and was killed.
While you guys were there picking her up?
While we were there picking her up. We didn't, I don't think we saw that happen, but it had happened while we were there. Like we were there waiting. Anyway, her name was Gail. And I don't know if I've ever told you this or not.
I don't think so. So I'm not remembering it.
Yeah. So that happened. And then after that, I was sleeping in the upstairs with my mom of my grandparents' house. It was like, I don't remember where we were or what the house was or anything. And I remember this kind of like, it's weird. It's like, it's this weird, like, I don't remember it, but I remember it. I don't know how to explain it.
I get that. These are weird.
Anyway, my mom woke up and I was sitting there talking. And I'm like 3, 4, like little. She said, I was sitting there talking and all of a sudden I just laid back down and she says, what are you doing? And I said, Gail was here. I was talking to Gail. And my mom is just like, what? What? Anyways, she had come and I was talking to her.
You had a visit.
And then,
wow.
Yeah. And I had a connection to her. Apparently I was really like, she loved me and I loved her, kind of like you and Avery, just real just real close. And she used to sing the song to me, and I don't know the name of it. I'm not going to sing it.
Come on.
It's like Sugar, Hello, Baby, Baby, or something. What is it?
Is it a real song?
It's like, honey,
you are my candy girl.
And you got me, like that song.
I know what you're talking about.
She used to always sing that to me. Okay. And we'd be driving along in the car, and I would be, Mom, Gail's song. The radio would be off. And Mom would turn the radio on and that song would be on.
Stop.
More than one time.
And you just knew it was on.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I feel like you are so much more connected than we know. Like, we know now that you're obviously very connected, but
yeah,
I feel like it's even more. You've been connected your whole life.
I just didn't know about it.
Yeah.
A lot of it. Like,
wow.
Who was I? Was I sleeping? No, but I literally would like know when that song was playing when the radio was not on.
That's so cool.
All the time. I don't know how, but I did. And sometimes still that song kind of pops into my head out of nowhere.
At random.
At random.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know how you and Gail are connected.
That's what I'm wondering, if she's one of my guides, because there's somebody that comes through that I feel like there's always been a G name. And now that I'm
just now connecting,
I'm saying this out loud. And it's like, I always thought her name was Grace, and I was trying to figure out who she was. And I saw a psychic one time that saw somebody around me that didn't make sense, but this could potentially make sense. I'm wondering if she is.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
We'll have to find out.
Sorry, I just took all the stories.
No,
do you have more?
are you kidding me? I would sit and listen to this all day long. I love that. I just thought of one while you were talking though, but I had noticed a pattern with yours is where I feel like you almost always have a visible connection. Like you almost always see something when you're experiencing it. Like while you had experiences that weren't visible, like when the person pushed, the things in, that spirit also kind of showed itself to you through the window, right? Like you always have some kind of, for me, it's always a feeling. I don't really see, like in the brown house, I definitely saw the shadows that would circle, but that was kind of I think that was a one-off. Like,
was it a light or was it a shadow? Because you guys told me it was a light.
I feel like it's both. I can't explain it. I can't explain what it was. A movement of energy.
I remember you guys telling me about it, and I was just like, it's keeping you safe.
It was. I can't explain it now. Like it wasn't a light. Like it wasn't like a reflection or anything.
Right.
And it wasn't dark or anything like a shadow would be, but it was a movement of
energy.
It's the only way I can explain it, because it wasn't. I do recall one time seeing it in the reflection of the TV, stopping in the window, and I thought there was somebody on the porch in the reflection of the TV. And so I turned, and then it was just that same movement, like light of shadow, whatever you want to call it. It like kept going type thing, but it was never like a figure. Or like the closest it got to a figure was that reflection in the TV where I thought somebody was standing on the deck, and that, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways, so it's just interesting that every experience I feel like I've had, which I don't think I've had that many, I'd have to like really sit and think about it, but that it's always like a gut, like a feeling, like I feel the energy shift or something. And the one that came to mind while you were talking was a handful of years back, I had a couple coworkers that I was getting close with, not super close, but like, coworker, going to a show. We had gotten tickets there was this elderly lady who worked at our store. She didn't work for us. She worked for somebody with disabilities who worked one day a week, and she was the helper, like she came and worked with that person.
Oh, gotcha.
And we became close with her, and she was just the funniest older lady. And we decided to take her to a, I don't remember the name of the show exactly, but kind of like a Magic Mike vibe show. Yeah. So anyway, we had like had a girls' night and taken her to this event at like McDonald Theater or something. I can't remember where it was, but we had agreed to meet at one of the girls' house to all ride together because she lived right down the road from where we worked. Right, we all knew where to whatever.
Right.
It's not like I've ever hung out here. I've never been there. Whatever.
Right.
We go to this girl's house. She's still getting ready, and we have time to kill. So
this is the older lady.
This is my other coworker.
Okay.
She's younger than me, very much younger. She lives with her parents, like her family. And we get there to all meet so that we can ride together. And she's still getting ready. So we all go in. We're all just going to chit chat, hang out, whatever. And from the moment I stepped into that house, I felt off. Not necessarily like in a negative way, but just kind of like off. Something shifted when I went inside. and we're sitting in like the little like kitchenette area that where we walked into, and she's like, well, I have to finish my hair. Do you guys want to just move the conversation back to the back room? It was like she was in the bathroom, but there was like a big hallway and we kind of just congregated there or whatever. But she goes, if we want to move this conversation back there so I can finish doing my hair, because she wanted to feel included and whatever. And I was like, okay, yeah. And so we go to turn to walk. We have to walk through their like main living room into this opening of the hallway to where their like bedrooms and bathroom, I would assume, and all that stuff is. As soon as I came around that corner, I I froze, like I stopped, like I didn't even want to cross the living room. And yes, it was like kind of dark in there. They didn't have a lot of lights going on, and it was nighttime and like whatever. And it's a new place, and that always kind of puts me on edge. But this was different. I literally was almost fearful. Like I did not want to cross that living room. Like I got like the chills down the back of my neck, physical frozen. Didn't want to cross the living room, and they just kept walking. It's not even in the living room yet. I had come around the corner, and so they had like entryway this side and entryway over that side. Like kind of like you had to come through a doorway and then go through a hall. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay,
like,
gotcha.
A big space. And as soon as we came through to the edge of the living room, and there's like this big open, it was pretty set up. Like it wasn't like anything intimidating.
It's like there's nothing creepy. Like
living room, and there was kind of like this little off room. Like maybe it was like some kind of breakfast. Like I don't know, but it was all this, and then there's a hallway. It's literally straight across. All I need to do is walk from this end to that end to get to where everybody else is. And everybody keeps walking, and I'm just frozen, standing there.
Oh my gosh.
And I freeze for a second, and I'm like, something's wrong. And then I kind of try to brush it off because I'm like, I'm being ridiculous. Why am I scared right now? You know? And so I just kind of scurry and catch up with everybody else, and I get to the hallway, and I'm in the hallway with, the overwhelming feeling to like need your back up against a wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you need something behind you because you feel like...
I'm that way in some restaurants. Like I can't sit with my back to the room.
Yeah. So I had that feeling. So I just kind of rested up against the hallway wall and just kind of like tried to like
pretend like
normal.
everything's normal.
Yeah, you know what I mean? At that time I didn't know. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know why I felt that way. I didn't know. It was kind of overwhelming because it was really intense.
This is pre any like knowing like where we are today.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And so like obviously I had dabbles with like spirit and seeing, different things, but like
consciousness around it.
But I was just like, I don't know what I'm experiencing right now. I just know it doesn't feel good. Like something's wrong. And we were there for like, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. It wasn't very long. But I was tense the whole time. I really was dreading having to walk back across that room.
No, you're like, I got to go through there again.
Yeah. And so like when we left, I was out that door. You know what I mean? We were, I'm gone. And the rest of the night went great and it was lovely and whatever. I do not recall exactly how I found this out afterwards. It was pretty soon afterwards because it was heavy on my mind of how I felt in that house. I don't know if I asked her first or if I looked it up. No, I think I asked her. I basically was just like, is your house haunted or anything? Because like, I just had like, I didn't get into details with her, obviously, like how I felt, but I was just like, I got the weird vibe, like, is your place haunted or do you have a ghost? And she hadn't experienced anything as far as a ghost or whatever. She goes, but our house is absolutely gotta be haunted. And I'm like, why? And she goes, oh, because the people that lived there however many years ago, the grandson murdered his grandma right there in that room off the living room. I was like, what? And she's like, oh yeah, it was like this big thing.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my God. And I think maybe like, I don't remember the whole, this is a while ago, the full story, but
like a big thing.
But the moment she said it, I was like, oh, that's it. Like that's what's happening. And so I looked up the address and found the story. Like I made sure I wasn't just like buying into what somebody was telling me. And there was a news article and like all this stuff on it.
Wow.
It was,
and
like,
you were picking up on the energy from that
as soon as I walked into the house, and especially when I got by that room.
Yeah,
that's where it was right off the living room.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I was self goosebumps thinking about it, but like it's weird that it didn't come across as like a ghost. It just was an negative energy. Like that I didn't know. I just didn't like it. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Or what, you know what I mean? Grateful to this day that I don't see things, because if I would have come around that corner and saw a murderous grandson, there would have been issues. I wouldn't have been able to walk past with my eyes blinded.
I'm just going to walk past this because I need to get to the other end.
This is fine.
This is fine. Everything's good. Yeah. In cases like that, I would almost bet, I mean, it could potentially be haunted with spirits, but I would bet that it's the energy that you felt, the negative, alone, the energy. Because I had something like, I don't know any details of what happened, but the description that you had of how you felt downtown here, we have an old, like it's a furniture store, but they have like 4 or 5 stories in this really old industrial building downtown. And I went one time, I was there by myself. I had went by myself. I think I was looking for a desk, or maybe it might have been a table for this setup. Who knows? I don't remember what I was looking for, but I was there on a mission, and I was going through all the layers looking, because they don't have like couches in one area.
Yeah,
it's like literally just spread all over. So I'd gone up to the highest floor that I'd been to. It was the 4th floor, I think. Anyways, empty. Like there's really nobody there. So it's just like the warehouse full of furniture that I'm walking through. And
I just got weird goosebumps with you saying that.
I mean,
I don't know why.
it might feel creepy, but it's like the whole place kind of gives me creeps to begin with, but not to the point where I couldn't go there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's a furniture store. There's nothing weird there. I mean, anyways, I'm walking and I literally just stopped dead in my tracks, and I just froze, and I couldn't move for a second. And I turned around and walked away. Like it was
like, nope.
Like it was, I couldn't have walked further had it wasn't one of those things. It's like, come on, you can do it. There's nothing here. There was I stopped and turned around, frozen, and went, I don't know what this is, but I'm out of here. Literally. I have experienced that. So I don't know what that, like,
you should look up the
I
building.
could look it up, that building. It's been around for a long time.
Maybe what it used to be.
Yeah, I don't know,
Yeah.
but I had that same feeling.
Yeah.
So I wish I had some cool story to follow up.
No, it was insane.
I'm just experienced what that feels like to be walking and then just be boop.
Dead stop. And I was just like, what is happening? And then I panicked because I'm like, people are going to think I'm crazy. You know what I mean? These aren't people I hung out with a lot.
Right.
So it's like, yeah. So I was
Right.
like, okay, just keep moving. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine.
It's fine. Nothing's happening.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like, I definitely feel like energy in that way.
Oh yeah, this is what I was gonna. Well, you said that I see things, and I guess now that you say it like that, I have. But that's not how I typically I see things in my mind. I don't see them with my eyes. But the white T-shirt, I saw that with my eyes.
Well, and that's what I'm saying is that I think that you do see it in your mind, like in a way, like in your like third eye or whatever it is. I think you're connected at all times in that form. And that's why at a young age, it came about as an imaginary friend, because you were seeing this thing in your mind, right?
I saw the T-shirt.
That's what I'm saying is that it got to the point where you kind of manifested a visual representation of what you were seeing in your mind. Does that make sense?
That could be.
Or maybe like I said, maybe it was in these instances where your spirit guide or whoever that ended up being needed to be seen physically by you. Like maybe he really wanted you to like feel his presence and
know that I was okay, that I was being, because that's what his whole purpose was, protecting me. Well, now I see when I know something is there. Like I have this one client who I've been seeing her for a little while now, and she's working on her intuition and trusting herself. And she knows she has some mediumship skills, and she's trying to like figure that out, how to trust that and how to access it. And the more we've gotten into that, I think it's happened. I want to say it's happened twice, if not 3 times now, that she has experiences when she's here. So it's like, okay, let me figure out how to say this. I think twice for sure. I want to say 3. It feels like there's a third that I can't think of right now. The day before her appointment, I didn't put this together until it happened a couple times. But like, okay, I'll give you the example. One day, I'm in the living room, sitting in the yellow chair reading. Okay. And it was when Lucy was living here. And Lucy and Matt were in the other room with all the dogs, or maybe part of the dogs. They were just in the other room. And I get this text message from Lucy saying, there's a ghost in here. And I said, is it anybody you know? And because she obviously, her mom, her grandma, like Logan, she like, has connections. And I said, she goes, no, it's nobody you know. And I'm like, okay. And so I put my book down and I get up and I walk in there. And she knew that there was somebody in there because 2 of our dogs are very, like, they will look at, stare at, act like they're scared, bark, growl, like if something's there. And they've done it before. Anyway, so she knew something was there, and I walked in and I'm like, I don't see anything. And she goes, I think it's gone. And I'm like, well, I didn't feel anything. I wasn't going to see it. I said, I don't feel anything. And she goes, I actually think it's gone. And I'm like, okay. And so I don't know why, but I came down here because my studio, and my office and my space is in the downstairs. And so I came down here and it was here. And I couldn't see it. I could just sense it. And I said, you need to go. I said, I don't know who you are, but it didn't feel like anybody I knew or that I needed to talk to. And I'm like, you need to go. And I basically ushered them out, asked them to leave. And then the next day I saw that client and it was here again. And then it dawned on me, it was showing up early.
For her.
And it was somebody from her
who wanted to make a connection with her.
That wanted to make a connection with her.
Interesting.
But they would come early. And so
just hanging out, waiting.
And then we had that another time. I walked in here and it was when I had my massage table sat up in here in this room. And I walked past and I could sense that something was standing here leaning against it. I couldn't see it with my eyes, but I knew. At that point, it was like the second or third time. That might have been the third time. I literally went, you need to come back tomorrow. Because I dawned on me that her appointment was the next day. I said, you need to come back tomorrow.
Okay, so I just got the craziest chill because I think I just had a realization. I have always, like I said, I have always written off that I don't see spirit or ghosts or anything like that. I feel the energy of it. I feel whatever. I think I've experienced that where you're not actually seeing, but you know. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
You can and if you try to picture it, you can see it, but you can't see it.
Okay, but
yeah.
Yes, but in a form of like, I thought my mind was just overthinking things. Does that make sense? Where like, I swear I saw somebody standing by the dining room table where we put our Christmas tree at the end every year, like where like those two windows in our dining room are. I swore somebody
by your game cabinet?
Yes.
Okay.
Swore somebody was standing at the end of the table right there. But I'd like stare and I'd be like, what would even make me think a person was standing there? There's nothing, there's no shape, there's no nothing. Why would I think that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm over imagining. I could picture somebody there. Like, is that why I'm making up a scary figure in my mind?
Do you know what I'm scary?
Saying? No, not necessarily, but like startling, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like in my mind at the time, it felt like I was like, oh, that'd be a scary place for somebody to randomly be standing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
like,
weird.
Like I'm almost setting up a scenario, but like looking back, it very much kind of felt like you walking by and knowing that somebody was leaning up against that table.
Yeah.
I think that my brain just was like correcting itself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
In the not knowing if that could potentially actually be some kind of energy or spirit being there. I'm just like, your imagination's running away again. You know what I mean? Like, but now I think I'm going to take notice to when I feel that because
there's probably something there.
I mean, no, that happens a lot. I'm like a lot. And I genuinely all the time write it off as you're silly. Like that's silly. Like why would I?
Yeah, no, you're probably.
Why would anybody be standing right there? Or why would that? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. You're experiencing it and you didn't even know. Yeah.
Oh, I have goosies.
Yeah. But that's like 90% of the reason why I have these blankets in here is because that same client, she's getting to where when we're working together, things will come and give her messages, and she's starting to get mediumship skills. But it's one time we were sitting here across from each other and both of our legs just got cold. Like there was something standing between us, ice cold. And we're both just like, I said, do you feel that? And she's like, I was wondering if you felt like this was earlier when she was trying to figure out how to use it. But it's like, boom, right between us, something standing there. And so then I got blankets for in here because it was so cold.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah. So she'll now when she comes in, it doesn't happen every time, but she'll come and she'll be like, anybody around for me? I'm like, no, I don't think so.
Oh, that's funny. Any visitors?
Or, oh yeah, there's somebody lined up. But they don't come through and give me messages for her. It's just like they just show.
But they feel like they need to be here maybe to talk to her? Because like, why wouldn't they just...
I don't know. It's weird. But it's happened twice.
Because if they're showing up just to give her messages, why would she need to be here to get them?
I do not know.
Is she experiencing any of that outside of here?
I mean, I think she's starting to. Like, yeah, I think she's starting to.
Interesting.
But I don't, it's almost like they're just kind of showing up as practice. But I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Her and I have kind of a sort of like connection. So it's like, I don't know if it's something we need to experience together. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Anyway, yeah. Wow. Showing up early. Because this house is not haunted on a normal basis, but we definitely get the occasional
visitor,
pop in.
Yeah.
But it's usually something like that.
I feel like I've seen way more than I think.
You probably have. Take what you've heard today even further by joining my newsletter community. Each week, you'll receive journal prompts and reflections connected to the episode that are designed to guide you in bringing these conversations off the podcast and into your own journey. Let's keep going deeper together. The link is waiting for you below.